Johnny Dim. Wait a second, Zach. This is a terrible start. I can't. It's we're not. No, no, because I'm looking at. That's the problem. They can't hear you. Um, why can't why can't they hear you? I'm watching the I'm watching the deal here, and I saw your levels earlier. I'm so confused. Why isn't this working? Okay, say something.
Hello.
There, they can hear you now.
Huh?
They can hear you now. I'm so sorry, America. That's my fault. I guess
That was a great start.
it was. It was fantastic. I ruined it. The one. This is probably my favorite intro you've ever done, and they didn't hear it.
Okay, do you want to pretend? Can you just play the theme song again?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just do it again. 1 second.
Mad Mortigan, you're gonna hurt the baby. America. I'm Zach Nanimus.
I'm Johnny Dim.
I need you to do exactly what you did before, and it's
Oh
like say,
crap.
"This sucks" in character.
Yeah, I don't remember
You've tuned
exactly what I
into
said.
episode 7, I think, 7, 8, 9, I don't know, of the new War Pod in Space, brought to you by Ovaltine. If it's not an oval, you're in your teens. Ovaltine. Tonight on the show, we have a litany of things to talk about. Not a litany, because a litany says that it suggests that they're so numerous that they don't bear listing, and I'm about to. Cyberpunk 77, a game neither of us have played. The original Star Wars franchise, Willow, the movie, not the Buffy Slayer. Um, Johnny has a secret special project that he's been working on in his laboratory. And what was the other thing you said before?
Oh, I got a list. Moonbase 8 and
Okay,
Antidana's.
say. Right. Couldn't remember those two things.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, Johnny, I've got to say, you've built up this secret project a little bit in my mind. So why don't you go ahead and we'll start with that. What is your secret
Well, first
project?
off, what has been built up in your mind? What do you think it is?
I think it's like some sort of like YouTube killer app. It's the new YouTube.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. No, it's not that at all. This is actually a lot more tactile. This is a lot more mundane, but fun and crafty. I've made
Okay.
wallets
Oh my
out of comic book
God.
paper, out of comic books.
What is it's shiny. Is that
Some of it is packaging tape, but actually is there's an acrylic that's also been sprayed on it. I'll give
Oh, that's
you
cool.
a little close up. This one,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it says Adam Warlock there on it. On the inside here, you got a little crotch bulge, like right over here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is
Um,
good.
yeah,
And now we all have
my ID.
your driver's license number.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you got my photo at least. Um, yeah. So I saw this. I have a bunch of comic books. I have a lot of comic books, way too many comic books, and I wanted to do something with them. And I was like, I know there's some crafty things you can do. So I found how to make a wallet. It's basically origami type of thing, mostly, but I improved upon the original design that I found, and I've started reinforcing it in certain areas. I also the most recent addition to it is I actually added a magnet. There is a magnet here in this side, and there's a magnet on this side. So when it closes, it stays clasped.
Won't
Now,
that damage the cards?
I thought that too, and I looked that up. Magnets can, with enough exposure and enough strength, damage the magnetic strip in cards.
Uh-huh.
And as I was like, well, let me just test it. I'll try it out. So I'm not gonna
Hmm.
so I won't sell these or give these away to people and then like, oh, they ruined everybody's cards. But I was like, wait a second. Of all the cards I use now, I don't use the magnetic strip at all. You,
I find myself needing to pay with things like at like certain gas
yeah,
stations.
so it's rare, but sometimes you will have to. So
Mhm.
if it does do damage to the cards, I'll be the first to find out, and I won't I won't do that to anybody else's cards.
Wow, I thought you were about to say money back guarantee for
No,
100% of all the money in your bank.
right. Um, yeah, there is a flaw.
I
I just
invented one too. It has a nickel heating element,
mhm.
so the acrylic actually melts together.
Oh, okay,
It keeps the wallet completely closed,
nice.
but it destroys everything in it.
Everything in it.
Yeah.
So another thing I'm actually going to be doing, I'm going to modify this a little bit because the magnet is too long, and because of the strength, when you're trying to open it, sometimes you'll accidentally rip the comic. So I'm also going to reinforce the edges so you don't run the risk of ripping anything. And
Okay. Oh, wait, are you using neodymium magnets?
I don't know what that is.
Neodymium magnets.
Are they like the earth magnets?
If you buy a really strong magnet that's not electric, then
No,
it's a
it's
neodymium.
not. It's not that strong, but comic books don't hold. They don't require a whole lot of pressure to rip.
Especially what is that, Silver Age?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's newsprint.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's either early modern or is there something between silver and modern? It goes. Well, there goes
Well,
gold,
yeah, you're right
silver,
because in like
bronze. It might be Bronze Age because this one is not. This is an Adam Warlock comic, but it's the ones where they towards the end of the really the heyday of Adam Warlock. It's when they redid him.
um
In fact, this comic was taken out of the first issue of a. It was the Adam Warlock that's more. He looks like more out of the 80s and 90s as far as comic book art.
mhm.
He's very ripped. Um,
And if anybody's concerned, oh, Johnny's, ripping up his comic books to make these things, let me assure you, almost every comic you have is worthless.
yeah, and I know
Damn.
that there's some purists that would really hate that I'm doing this, but
Mhm.
I make it and I actually did open an Etsy store, but I haven't put a bunch of stuff in it yet because I'm still kind of playtesting these things, and I want to make sure what I put in the Etsy store is actually going to be better quality.
Mhm.
But yes, I have been collecting comics for a few years now, and the value of the comics that I'm actually making into wallets is near nothing. Like,
It's greater. The wallet,
yeah,
it's more valuable as a wallet.
absolutely. If this comic was worth anything, I would have sold it as the comic itself.
Mhm.
Which I don't think we want to make a bunch of time for this now. I'll tell you this off air sometime. But I recently had an eBay issue that was recently closed, where this guy was trying to basically steal my comic that I sold him and $400 that he paid for it.
How wait, okay.
Wait, I'll,
I
I'll
see.
just do it real quick. Real quick. I sold him a comic. It
Mhm.
was a graded comic. He overpaid for it, which was fine for me, right? What do I care? And he got the comic, and then when he got it, he said it was cracked. And then when he took pictures of it and it said it was cracked, the pictures were blurry. I got real suspicious. But whatever, he wanted to return. He was telling me to give him a partial refund. Long story short, I ended up granting him a refund and a return, so he would have to send the comic back, and I would give him the $400 back. But then what ended up happening is that he sent me back a worthless comic. So
Mm.
so he got his $400 back and then sent me the wrong comic,
Oh,
which was
wouldn't
worth
it
nothing.
is it not a common policy that it's like, hey, yeah, as soon as I get my comic back, you get your money.
Right. But the shipping label that I sent him to send the comic back is what he used. So eBay just thinks he sent the comic back.
Okay.
So I had to appeal the decision because they took the $400 out anyway. I had to appeal the decision and eventually got my money back. They just made the decision like yesterday.
Okay, that's got to like I don't know much about eBay
Yeah.
at all. So I would have to assume based upon what you told me, like that would be one of the most common types of fraud.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is, I have a really good rating on eBay. I've been selling on that eBay with that account for like 15 years.
Uh-huh.
So like they know that I wouldn't try to defraud them, and I had to sign this waiver basically saying under penalty of perjury or whatever their wording was.
Yeah.
They would basically said you're telling us for sure that he did not send you the right comic, and I was like, yes, that is true.
Well, I'm
Anyway,
glad everything worked out for
you're
you,
right.
Johnny.
And as far as this stuff goes, I did create some social media stuff, and you'll be probably hearing more about this later.
Hey, link
Um,
it in the description. Who cares?
yeah, I will, but I'm just saying. So the name of my store is going to be Paper Anvil, so that's what you got to look forward to.
Cool. You got a price point on those?
Um, they're going to be anywhere between $15 and $20, and maybe cheaper than that for the first batch, just because I do want to just get them out there.
Mhm.
I want people to experience them, and I want people to like them. So the first batch is going to be a lot cheaper, and then as that confidence builds in my audience customer base, then I'll raise them up a little bit because they do take a lot of work, and I think they're worth at least $25 at least. But yeah, well, they'll start off cheaper.
Very cool. Now, something I want to talk about that I've been working on for a long time. God, I hate these earbuds. Oh my! I was doing a let's play
Yeah.
a few nights ago, and this just popped out, and I pulled. Never mind. I talk about it in the let's play.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we are officially like in I don't know month 3 maybe of Zach Nanimus Scruff Watch, and something very exciting has happened. As you can see, these now
He
connect.
did it.
It's something I've wanted my entire life. However, I cheated.
You use Miracle Grow.
I did not use Miracle Grow. I used an ancient technique called the comb over.
Oh.
These strands of my mustache are much longer than these.
Right.
So I can do
There it is.
a
There it
little
is.
bald spot on my face. Okay, there is hair there, but it let's be honest, it looks like a smear of poop. It looks far more like a smear of poop than it ever did hair.
Nice, nice.
Um, Actually, I've been thinking about, and some girls do this.
The comb
Not
over?
not usually their face.
The comb over?
Huh? I can barely hear
The
you.
comb over is what I said. Why can't you hear me?
I don't know. I can hear you. I can hear you much better now.
Oh God!
No. Some girls for their eyebrows, they'll actually just pencil in whatever they want. I've been thinking about just a little bit right there.
Nice. I like that.
I could also do hormone
Yeah.
therapy.
Well, okay. Here now, I'm okay. So you know this, but the audience may not know this. But I want you to talk about something else. I want you to talk about that thing that's on your background there. I want you to talk about my favorite movie ever. I want you to talk
Okay.
about Willow because you said you watched it again recently.
I was watching. I was like 2.5 of watching like there's an entire space of YouTube dedicated just to action figures,
Mm-hmm.
and by hour 2.5 of just consuming that, realizing that I wasn't that interested, I got really depressed. And I was like, there's probably this because everything on YouTube is just these weird info dumps
Mm-hmm.
and there's no narrative to it. And like it's probably that I just haven't like listened to a story with a satisfying ending in
Right.
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so on a whim, I was like, let's watch Willow.
Yes. And it's on
Uh,
Disney Plus.
yeah, it's on Disney Plus. Disney. I hate using Disney Plus. I hate it.
Is it
Um,
because of your hate for Disney or just the app itself?
you know, it's mostly my hate for Disney.
Yeah.
Mostly my outright hate, my genuine outrage.
Right.
The app isn't that bad anymore.
Right. Right. Disney does deserve that hate though. They're
They
terrible.
really do.
Right.
Okay. Willow.
Yes. It was
Willow.
fantastic. It was satisfying, and you got that ending you were looking for. And chef's kiss.
Will Willow is a disjointed,
Yeah.
exhausting, saccharine mess.
Okay. Okay.
But
Let's get into it.
it might be the ultimate kids movie. It
That's
might
fair.
be it might be perfect.
Yeah.
Because I think
I was a kid when I fell in love with that movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing is that I think they had like a really I think they had like an edgy and fun like an edgy and dark script that was sure to appeal both to fans of Lord of the Rings, but also existed in the Attitude Era of the early '90s. And then they let Ron Howard direct it.
80s.
Is it
That
the
movie came out in
'80s?
1989.
Okay, so God, what were we doing? What were we doing in 1989? How do we feel? I think that was the year we all had
I
a
don't
cold.
remember. I was 3 years old.
Um, Okay, I
When,
think
what
there was just a
what
lit.
year did the Berlin Wall come down?
Was that 84?
I don't know. I know it was Reagan.
Mm. But either way, this
Oh,
movie's got
in
some salt.
November 1989.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, like I said, this movie's got some salt and pepper on it.
Yeah.
But they still managed to make it a kids
Hmm.
movie, which for my money is the best way to make a kids movie. Its script suffers and some of its ideas aren't
Hmm.
great, which is what sets it apart from something like Roger
Sure.
Rabbit. But, Roger Rabbit is about sex, drugs, and violence.
Right. I was scared
And
shitless of Roger Rabbit growing up.
yeah, but it's still marketed to
Right.
kids. And Willow has some of that. And the reason that I mention having all of these mature themes in it is that that's what makes a movie age really
Hmm.
well. Like that's what keeps a lifelong
Right.
fan. As you get older and start to respect different things about it, it sticks with you. Um, Willow has those, but like one of the biggest problems is that it's so exhausting.
Sure.
One of the biggest problems in the movie is that Willow has to turn a sorceress from like a marmoset.
Yep.
Is
I
that what
don't
that
know. I
animal
think so.
is? They chose a really
They
interesting
did.
animal. Um, he has to turn the sorceress from a marmoset back into a
Yes.
woman. Um, and, he has this problem for like 4
Yeah.
days. At no point do the characters have a second to catch their breath to do it. It's not a long process. But like once he finally does, like why didn't he do it? It's like, yeah, this goes from fight scene to chase
Right.
scene to fight scene to chase
And
scene.
then they're imprisoned. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
constant.
Yeah. 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 He has a little bit of a sorcerer's impotence. A little bit. Uh. But I mean, I guess that's how we all are when we first learn.
No, no, he does. If he has an impotence, it's due to anxiety and
which
distraction, not
which
performance.
happens your first time sometimes. Just saying.
um, the is that Red Sonja in that movie, the female lead? I didn't even learn her
I didn't
name.
know Red Sonja was a live action movie.
Yeah, they made a Red Sonja movie. I'm pretty sure that's Red
I
Sonja.
know she married Val Kilmer. I don't
Hmm.
know much more than that. I forget
That's a really stupid turn in the movie.
what when she falls in love with him.
Yeah,
Well, it's magic, and
because
then not then it's not magic.
it was magic. Like he he got the heart the broken heart
Right.
powder.
The something of the broken heart. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's powder of the broken
Right.
heart, which is cocaine.
Right.
Uh,
Or ecstasy.
and that's why
Ground up ecstasy.
in Willow you have sex, drugs, and
Uh huh.
violence. You have all the bones of Roger Rabbit here.
Yeah.
And so he goes off his nut and starts talking about how much he loves her, and this flatters her in a way that she can't quite
Mm-hmm.
forget. And so she's stuck in this mind. Wow, there's this soul of a poet in this attractive warrior,
Mm-hmm.
and that sticks with her, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when she falls in love with
Yeah,
him,
for real.
is when her
When
huh?
she falls in love with him for real.
Yeah, is when her men are storming a castle that he's
By
defending,
himself.
and yeah, and he's slaughtering her
Mm-hmm.
dudes. And like and like they cut to her while he's just like it's not subtle. You like it's stage
Mm-hmm.
acting, but like it's not, oh, I got knocked on the head. He puts swords into people's guts and slashes
Yeah, he
out.
does.
Uh and like then they turn to her and like the music swells. Oh,
It's an
I,
awkward time for that.
and she goes up
But
and kisses her. And she's like, "Oh, I just love how much you just slaughter
well,
my
I think that makes
dudes. That's
sense
my
in some
favorite thing about
context
you."
though, because think about her upbringing. She has like the worst mother, and she is surrounded by death and dismemberment and torture all the time. So that's what she likes. That's what she's into. She's warped. Now their marriage falls apart as soon as peace because comes over the entire land, right? I think their
Uh
marriage completely falls apart at the end of the movie after that. But
when she Oh God, I was just thinking about like when they're being intimate, she might have
she might
trouble
have to bring slaves in to be slaughtered while they,
just to
yeah,
be No, 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 no. It needs to be single
yeah, yeah, yeah,
combat.
yeah.
So
Which is probably
she needs to
absolutely
bring in
exhausting for Mad Mardigan.
yeah, she needs to bring in more of her friends
So,
to be killed by Mad
right.
Morgan.
So, to answer your question, Bridget Nielsen played Red Sonja, and Joanne Wally or Whaley played what's her name?
Am I accurate in thinking that they look very similar?
They look similar. Yeah, they're both
Okay.
white women, and they play roles in similar universes.
I guess
Yeah,
so. Um, so yeah, Willow is a really good kids movie. I usually say that about movies that have the kind of edge to them to where they couldn't be made
right, right,
today.
right, right.
You know, the ideas are considered to be too mature to introduce kids to, and that's always like it always produces like such lame milk toast stuff. I saw something on Netflix. I think it's called Kibo,
I don't know.
not Kubo, Kibo.
No idea.
Um, and I'm imagining someone's gonna get mad because Kibo is like really progressive and like there's like a gay couple in it. They never talk about it. That's fine. The characters are lame, and the every it's got that Marvel thing going on where absolutely every bit of tension is undercut with a
Hmm.
joke, and all characters have to be smiling and cutting jokes even when they're like going on stealth missions and just
Brilliant.
that's my review of Kibo.
Nice.
Okay,
Hmm.
Johnny
Yes.
Dim, your rebuttal.
I think what you said is fair. The movie has its flaws. It's hard. It's hard for me to be too critical of it because I do love that movie. But I was curious, and I was actually I find it interesting. You said nothing about the brownies in particular, because I think the brownies are the worst part of that movie.
I mean, they're one of the things that make it a schmaltzy kids
That's true.
movie.
That's true, and that's probably why I
You
like them
know,
less as I gotten older. Um, I think that they also have a problem with there's a logic problem with the brownies too. I think that the only way they can do what they do and what the thing that they do, like their way of life, is if they actually are magical and can use magic. I think that's
they absolutely
yeah,
are.
but you don't see them use magic.
They're magical in the way that a centaur or a unicorn is. Their very existence depends on
Sure,
magic.
that's true.
Like they don't work as an
Right, right,
organism.
right. They absolutely don't. Um, but I just find those characters annoying. The those two,
Yeah, I mean,
Frazine
like
and whatever the name. I don't remember
I didn't learn the female lead's name.
the names.
I know the names of Mad
Right,
Mortigan,
right.
Willow, the infant princess
Elora
Elora.
Danon. Yeah.
Okay,
Kaya is
um,
Willow's wife. Uh,
and
eh,
Grunkle Butt.
the
That
bald
that
Fergal cut.
Fergal
Yeah,
Cut. Okay, I was not calling him Fergal
yeah.
Cut when I was watching the movie.
I ju-
I was I was adding an in a very particular part of that word.
I actually just got a shirt. It's a shirt I've been eyeing for a very long time from T Public. It's like a little advertisement type of T-shirt. It's a Fergal Cut Farms. Yeah,
um, yeah, I didn't learn anybody's
no, that's
names. They
fine.
don't they don't
It took me a long
they don't
time.
say them enough or
No, they
clearly.
don't. It took me a long time to learn a lot of their names. Um,
But every time the two brownies would do something, I'd be like, "Oh, this is the part of filmmaking that Ron Howard learned from Star
yeah,
Wars." Like every once in a while, the droids
yeah. I
have
was
to
gonna
do
say
something
like it's an
stupid.
R2D2 C3PO type of thing.
Yeah, that's the only reason they exist.
But this is a great topic actually for right now because uh, it's official. Like it just like a couple weeks ago, it is official. They're in production, and Warwick Davis is on board for the Disney Plus series of Willow.
Starring Warwick
Yeah,
Davis. He's got to be as old as the magician
How
was
old do you
in the
think he is?
original. Let's see. 77, he was about 20,
Hmm, hmm.
and that was uh 77's 20, 40. He's
He is
60.
50 years old.
He's
Hmm.
50. How old was he when he was playing R2D2?
Very young. He actually started.
Wait, I'm sorry. He was. I'm sorry. He wasn't
No,
R2D2.
he
He
was.
was
Yeah,
Nib
you're right.
Nib.
He was the Ewok. Not is that you right? Ewok. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are the bears. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. And Nib Nub is a completely different character. He was Fidget.
Right. Okay. No, he actually I found this out. He actually started his acting career very young. He was in his teenage years when he was starring in some of his earlier roles.
Okay, I've still seen him. He's an older
Yeah.
guy, and Willow was just starting his family. I mean, can't we? Shouldn't he be a mentor character, and then we find a new little
Well,
person?
my actual prediction for the show is that they do pass the torch. I think that
Hmm.
because in the books, which I haven't stomached enough of them yet, I actually have the sequel books, and I haven't finished them yet. Um, but from what I've read of the synopsis, that he actually it's kind of a passing of the torch to, um, what's her name, the baby, Laura Dannon.
It's not. It's not going to be about little people.
I don't believe so. I don't think directly. I don't. I think it's going to be about his teaching her. I think.
Well, that sucks.
I'm sure there'll be. I'm
Like
sure
one
there'll
of
be
the.
plenty of little people in it. There's no way that they would get away with not having little people in it.
Well, the thing is that the conceit of the movie Willow is that like a society of all these little people could only be because they're a fantasy creature, which is it's a little insulting, but I haven't heard
Yeah.
anybody get uppity about it, to be honest. Um, and like one of the things about being like in Willow's Village is that there were all these little people actors,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. And it was, it's a diversity moment which absolutely
Oh no.
works.
Yeah,
And
I definitely
so
think they should definitely have the Nolan Village still in it. And I think I would
right,
guess
but
that
with
that's where they start the movie. That Willow's
but
living in that village still.
but I would say that like one of the reasons they did it with so many little people back then is because they didn't have the technology to just shrink
Right.
people in films, which they can
Right.
now.
They could have done it then because there's like Lord of the Rings is mostly camera tricks, but
I mean, it's mostly camera
yeah, not
tricks,
all of
but
it.
there's a lot where there's
Right. Right.
not.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm excited for it. I hope you have some optimism for it. But actually, and then I hope you'll join me because I've decided. Jason Edge of Blade, friend of the show, um,
He no friend of the show. He's a
he is a
warlock.
warlock, but he said something about wanting to. He hadn't seen it yet. We actually were just talking about this recently because he had just found out that they had officially greenlit the series, and he said he needed to watch it. I said, well, I want to do like a watch party and actually like watch it with everybody, like a screening of it. And what we decided was that we're gonna do something for my birthday where I'll do a screening of it. And if COVID's still an issue, which it might likely will be, we can do it remotely. Um, we'll do it that way. If not, then we could do it in person, which would be a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be down for
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, I don't know. I love that movie, and obviously, and you were talking about action figures earlier, and I was curious whether your segue was going to be that you found some Willow action figures, but
No, if my segue was going to be anything, it'd be about the original Star Wars
mm,
trilogy, which is something I wanted to touch on
yeah,
today.
I was just gonna say just for the action figure comment that the Willow action figures are terrible because they there was not a lot of merchandise for this movie for Willow.
No,
It did not do very well in theaters, which is why it kind of went dark and didn't. It's one of the very few Lucas films that didn't get a sequel.
being like American Graffiti,
Hmm. That
being like Mac and Me.
yeah, there's some, but I'm saying is, but we don't know.
I don't know if Mac and Me was
Yeah,
one.
I don't know if Mac and Me got a. Did Mac and Me did it get a sequel? No.
God no. Oh my God. Do you know what that movie
Is it
is?
just I've seen images from it, but I've never seen the movie.
Like, this is no exaggeration. It is a feature length ad for McDonald's and Coca-Cola.
Oh boy.
Like,
It's yeah. This says McDonald's Mac and Me movie.
mhm.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's about a boy. It's about a paraplegic boy who finds an alien, um, and the alien's powers don't make a lot of sense,
Hmm.
but it's trying to find its family.
Okay.
And then eventually there's a very long sequence where the alien has to hide inside of a character costume at a birthday party at
I'm already
McDonald's.
tired of this.
And
I don't
then
want to hear anymore.
eventually the ch- the alien does something. They're in a
Uh
chase
huh.
scene and he gets the kibosh put on him and the alien is dying. It is going to die.
Sure.
And the boy starts force feeding it
Oh no.
Coca-Cola, and that brings it back to life. No exaggeration here.
Okay. All right.
None.
That sounds
This is the movie.
ridiculous. Okay. Um. All right. You wanted to talk about Star Wars?
Yeah,
Okay.
weirdly. As I've been on a little bit of a movie kick, I'm watching more movies, and there's wholesale criticism for sequels, trilogies, and prequel trilogies. I went back because I was wondering, like, and I was actually thinking about doing a movie review like this. I watched the original trilogy through the lens of somebody who like hates the prequels and sequels, which I do. So it wasn't difficult.
Okay.
But I was just like, what if we scrutinize these movies as closely as we
Mm-hmm.
do the supplemental movies in the
Mm-hmm.
franchise? And guess what? With the right pair of eyes, the original trilogy sucks.
Fair enough.
With the right pair of eyes, they are they are entertaining
Yeah.
movies. But from a structural standpoint, from a cinematic standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, they're either overly ambitious, or sometimes truly inept
Okay.
in trying to bring their message. They're fine. They are fun little movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're not high art.
No, I don't think they've ever been high art at all.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's fair. I haven't rewatched them for a couple years, I think. But yeah, they stand up as good movies.
They're
They're
fun.
fun.
Don't get
Yeah,
me
they're
wrong.
absolutely fun. I agree with that.
I mean, and this is in stark contrast to something like in the sequel trilogy. I always get the names confused because I really like The Force Awakens.
Yes.
I like that movie, um, but then the Last Jedi and the
S- Skywalker.
third, yeah, the Rise of Skywalker. Those are really
Yeah.
bad. Like those just aren't fun. Those aren't bad movies that are fun to watch. And the same with Episode One. No, yeah, Episode One and Two are really bad.
Yeah.
They made they made like five really fun movies right in the middle.
I personally like Rise of Skywalker, but I know I'm in the minority with that one.
Rise of Skywalker. Well, that makes sense. It's structured very much like Willow. They never take a
No, they
break.
don't.
It never
Yeah.
stops. Which is that's why I like The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens is very deliberate,
Yeah.
very a much slower pace with many more quiet moments.
Yeah. The Oh no, my brain
What?
farted because I had a
Do you need to change?
no. I think I'll be okay. It was not a brain shart. Um, no, I was gonna say something about those movies and I completely blanked.
The
Buster had distracted me. He started pulling the curtains open.
the sequel trilogy?
Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. I th-
Were you gonna talk? Are you gonna talk about Felicity's cameo in it?
no, I was going to try to segue that into Mandalorian, which is something that we didn't say we were going to talk about, but I don't know if you've been watching it. Okay,
Yes.
we don't want to get into spoiler
Uh,
territory, but
okay.
I'm enjoying it.
The most recent one. I've seen every episode except for like the famous jail one in the first
Which
season,
is
where
skippable.
the whole thing is set in one hallway.
Yeah, that's skippable.
Um, but the most I think it's the most recent one as of now, the one with the Seeing Stone.
Yeah, the one that he sits on.
Yeah, I don't like that episode. I don't like that. I think it's written very poorly. And like my first thought was, oh, I guess they brought in someone else for this like simple linking episode. Nope, written by John Favreau, the person who has knocked it out of the
I
park
don't think
like
that
12 other times in the same
I don't think
series.
that episode in particular needs to be that strongly written. I mean, that might be a stupid opinion, but nobody's going to pay attention to whether it's written well or not because of who shows up. Like no one, like the cast of that episode takes.
You talking about Ming from Agents of Shield?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mhm.
No,
Oh dang, I'm sorry, that is a spoiler because I didn't see the episode.
yeah.
I hadn't seen the episode where she's mortally wounded and you assume she's dead.
There you go.
Okay.
That now, I think that's a fine spoiler though. That's a
compare
light
compared
spoiler
to
of that
everything else.
episode. That's very
Mhm.
light spoiler. Um, but no, the big I like the big headline of that episode, and like I said, I think that if you put too much in that episode to begin with, I think it would be too much.
No, no,
I think
no,
it's yeah, you're right. There's not a lot going on plot wise.
not the problem.
What's the problem?
The problems start almost immediately. When the Mandalorian is playing with Graugo,
I say it wrong every
Grogu. I
time. Groku.
think it's Grogu.
Yeah,
Roku.
Roku.
It's
Yeah,
Roku, the streaming device
yeah.
Roku. He's playing with Roku, and he's like Roku takes the ball from him, which is exactly what he wanted, and he's like, man, he's like, no, no, I'm not mad with you, Grogu. It's just, and then like he turns away and he's like focusing on his flying, and he's like, we're gonna get you to those Jedi, and they're gonna give you a good life, Grogu. They're gonna raise you up the way you're supposed to, and you're gonna be with your
Yeah.
people. That is pretty much exactly what he says and exactly the way he says it, and that's just not the Mando.
It's not, but that's character development.
It's
He's
schmaltzy.
becoming more of a father figure. He cares about the damn kid. Like that's I like that development. He was stone cold and he's softening.
Not the problem.
What's the problem?
The problem is the best thing that the Mandalorian ever did was nothing. They do nothing extremely well.
Sure.
There's a lot,
Are you mad at them for
with the
filling
man.
the silence?
Yeah, I
No.
am.
No.
It's the cinematic equivalent of jingling keys. Oh, everyone's got to be saying something, and if characters don't say the way they feel, it's impossible to know.
Especially when you're wearing a helmet.
In the first season, that was pretty much the gimmick. It's like, oh my god, he's giving subtle glances in a
I
helmet, and
no.
I know
That
exactly
is
what he
that is called
means.
good character development.
No, it's
Yes, it is.
not. The thing is that the character development is fine. The execution
So if you
was
had that same
lazy.
scene and with 10 seconds of silence on either end of it, would that have been better?
I didn't say
No,
10.
you didn't. 5,
Hmm.
7, two and a
Um,
half. So you just wanted more silence out of him. So I'm saying if you still had that dialogue, kept the dialogue, but just added more silence, would that have satisfied
no,
you?
get rid of the dialogue.
Get rid of the dialogue.
Get rid of most of it, yeah, because it's not something that falls trippingly off his tongue. Because he's a sentimental guy, but that's not the way he expresses it.
Unless his heart is being softened by a little baby Yoda, and that's right, I called him Baby Yoda.
His heart can be softened. This is just a lazy way to show
I
it.
disagree.
And I love John Favreau. John Favreau like pretty much made the Marvel series. I know everybody says it's like Paul Feige.
Feige. But that's
Right.
the Marvel
Like
universe.
or he orchestrated it, but like all of the attitude, everything that we really like about it was those were ground rules set down by
No,
John
I agree. John
Favreau.
Favreau is a great director. Now, yeah, now it's going to get interesting though. Just to segue into all the announcements. Did you hear about all those announcements that came out?
I heard that they happened. I don't know what they
I
are.
didn't like keep a list of them, but as they were, the way I found out,
There's got to be a
yeah,
list.
there is. I'm sure we can Google it, but um, the way I found out was I was just on YouTube and I saw a trailer for a Star Wars. No, what was it? Oh, it was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. And as I'm watching the trailer,
Oh,
yeah, but
they've
the
been teasing
official
that for a
trailer
while.
came out for it. And so I was
Mm.
watching it, and as I was watching it, at the end of that one, it put me right into more trailers and more announcements, and I was like, "What the hell happened?" And apparently, Disney actually announced all this stuff.
Is it Disney or Marvel
I don't
specific?
remember, to be honest. I didn't see the actual, and I think it happened during the Video Game Awards because that's when I think they dropped some trailers during the Video Game Awards, which I did not watch. I never watch them.
Let's see here. Disney announcements. Every Disney Plus announcement 2 days ago.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of them.
Uh, can I get just a list? Just a list. Just a list. Come on, you can do it.
Okay, here's
Or
some. So they're gonna do Asaka, Ahsoka. That's the yeah.
yeah, the Ahsoka Tano
They're
series. I
gonna
heard
do
about
that one. They're
that.
gonna do Andor. Yeah,
Andor.
Andor is a character getting. Yeah, Cassian Andor is the character's name. The post
Oh right,
Sizzle
Cassian dead.
Rogue from Rogue One. Rogue One.
Yeah, Cassian dead.
Bad Batch. Star Wars Bad Batch. It looks like a an animated.
Is it about clones? Is it about just terribly mutated
Eyes
clones
of the
that they
clan that
try
is
to
popularly known
stuff
as
into?
Bad Batch in the Star Wars universe. The Bad Batch marks the return of Lucasfilm of the Realm of Animates series after a hiatus from the same for many years. In line with the trend of telling stories from the perspective of the previously overlooked Lucasfilms. I don't know. It didn't give much detail there. Um,
Okay.
Limitless with Chris Hemsworth.
What
That's
was
not
that?
Star Wars. That's just him being Chris Hemsworth.
That's the one with the pill. You take a pill and you're the smartest man on earth.
That's not what that is. In addition to the Disney Plus Star Wars shows, it would appear as if the streaming platform will release a National Geographic series with actor Chris Hemsworth.
Oh,
You're thinking of Limitless. Wait, that's the same name.
yeah.
That just clicked.
No, this is limitless.
Yeah. Here's some more Pinocchio, Peter Pan.
Wait, is that it? Wait, are they talking about the Italian language film Pinocchio that's coming out
Oh, I don't know.
with the guy from Life is
Maybe.
Beautiful? Because that one looks good.
Yeah, and there's one called Peter Pan and Wendy. Of course, WandaVision now has an official trailer.
Is it is it what the promos like suggest it is with like it's like an I Love Lucy or Leave It to Beaver kind of
Yeah,
thing?
but it's obviously a construct. It's a some type of mental construct, and she's there's holes that are being poked into it, and she's basically fighting against it. So
Oh, she's living in a
yeah,
fantasy world.
exactly. So
That's
yeah,
interesting. That
I
could
think
be
it looks great. Loki has his official trailer out.
Loki dead.
Loki Day. When you say Loki dead,
Yeah, Loki
yeah, but
dead.
not in that timeline. Um,
Oh, come on. Really?
what
They're
didn't
gonna
you see
do
Endgame?
Yeah, I did.
Loki when they capture him after he attacks New York, that Loki
Oh, you're
goes through
right.
a
He
yeah.
disappears. Okay, you know what? Fair.
Um,
Okay, what about Cassian?
I don't know that one. They probably just go back in time for that one. Um,
Ugh.
Miss Marvel actually has a live action series with a trailer now.
Hold on. Wait. Why Cassian?
I don't know. I don't make the rules.
Like Cassian was the least interesting character in that whole thing. I know they can't afford Donnie Yen, but why don't they do Jin Urso?
That would be great.
Jin, oh, you know what? I'll tell you what Cassian's past is. He worked for the rebellion as a clandestine agent. That was his
Great.
job. Jin Urso has like this whole story where she was like an orphan, and then she beep booped around in the system, and then she kind of became like a teen thug until she eventually wound up basically getting kidnapped by the rebellion. And so like the journey to that moment, it far more
Hmm.
interesting. Why
I don't
Cassian?
know. You're probably right. Um, there's also the last Disney Plus announcement was a film. I think it's a film called Raya and the Last Dragon. Um, yeah,
Rhea?
it looks like a.
Wait, Last Dragon as in some dumb guy?
Oh, I don't know.
Because if it's not that Last Dragon, I don't want anything to do with it.
No, it's not that one.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
You talking? Are you talking about?
It's a spoof on black exploitation
Oh, I have
films.
no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, okay, but that's it's like a Disney, that's a straight up Disney movie. That's the whole list. So there's only what three?
No,
I'm missing some.
because yeah, the list I saw had a lot more.
Well, then this is a bad list.
They're doing a new Beauty and the Beast
What?
with Luke Evans and Josh Gad.
What?
So I guess Belle will be played by Josh
What?
Gad. Uh, um, Ron
Oh
Moore and
shit!
John.
You're right. There is a much longer list.
They're doing a new Swiss
Swiss
Family
Family
Robinson who
Robinson,
could
Percy Jackson, and the
possibly care.
Olympians. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers,
Oh
which
boy.
picks up where the films left off.
No, it doesn't, because it says Emilio Estevez returns. So it picks up where the movies left off 30 years
I
ago.
rewatched the original recently. I loved those movies as a kid. Turner and
I
Hooch is coming back.
I never had any interest in sports movies as a kid, none at all.
That's too
So I
bad
don't.
for you because they have a lot of drama.
I watched the show. There was a show about alien ducks
I
that
remember
fought
that.
crime with hockey themed
I hated that
weapons for
show.
zero
I hated that
reasons.
show. So Turner and Hooch, Big Shot, which I don't. We can just gloss over these.
Celebration of girl power with John Stamos and Apple Brown Betty.
Yvette Nicole Brown. Yeah.
She will always be Apple Brown Betty in my eyes.
The Mysterious Benedict Society.
it's a it is a society of the six people that can pronounce Benedict Cumberbatch's name correctly.
I'm gonna skip over a bunch of these.
I heard the best
Go
one.
ahead.
Benjamin Shiny Pants.
Benjamin Shiny Pants. Wait, what the? Oh, I see. Oh, it was the Disney D23. Okay, that's like some type of an event because they are announcing a lot of stuff not just for Disney Plus and movies like theaters because they also have FX on here. They're talking about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because they own that now. That's a Disney production.
Oh my god, I didn't even think
The
about
group
that.
also announced today the first
Oh my
series adaptation
god.
of the sci-fi horror classic Alien is in development. There's an
What?
Alien series coming to FX.
How?
I don't
Okay,
know.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is owned by Disney,
Well, it's on FX.
so it's going to be really bad.
I would hope they don't change the way it's been done already.
You know what? That's unfair of me because I actually just saw an FX. I assume it's a miniseries. I can see how there could be a sequel, but I truly hope there never
Okay.
is.
Also,
It's called Devs. Devs
I'm
was
going to try
really
to get through
good.
this list a little bit faster because I don't want this to take up the entire show. There.
I mean, we have to stop after this
All
one
right.
anyway.
So Lucasfilm. I'm just gonna read through the Lucasfilm stuff because I missed some because like I said that list was not complete. So the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is official. There's also one. Let's see what this is. Read the sentence out loud. Starring Ewan McGregor and Christian Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader, and two series set in the Mandalorian era from John Favreau and Dave Filoni. Rangers of the New Republic and the Ahsoka series featuring the fan favorite. Yeah, okay. So Rangers of the New
Okay,
Republic we didn't know.
those sound good, but this is when we're going to start getting into spreading the talent too
Hmm.
thin.
So
I can tell
here's
you
another
that.
short list: Andor, which we already talked about. Star Wars: The Bad Batch, we talked about that. Star Wars: Visions, Lando, The Acolyte, and A Droid Story. Those are all separate. Those are different shows. The studio is also revisiting Willow. We knew that. Star Wars franchise Rogue Squadron to be directed by Patty Jenkins of the Wonder Woman franchise.
Okay, I'd watch a Rogue Squad. I love Rogue Squadron stuff
Indiana Jones, the fifth one, was actually announced and official.
with Harrison
Correct.
Ford. Oh my God, why?
I don't know.
Like the thing, okay, the thing is that there's nothing wrong with making movies that have older people as actors in them, but they're never used like older people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we're gonna wheel you in, wake you up, make you say a line, and then CG and your stunt doubles are gonna do the rest of the movie.
I
Why?
don't know.
They can't do actual stories about older
There's also
people.
a Star Wars
They
feature film by writer director. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's a bunch of these. Uh, Taika Waititi, that guy,
mhm.
he's doing one called Children of Blood and Bone.
I like
Yeah, he's
Tygo.
great. Now this just caught my eye. The actual Disney. Go
Wait,
ahead.
Children of Blood and Bone is in what
It
universe?
doesn't say.
Okay.
Oh, it says based on Tomi Adeyemi. I can't say that last name. Sorry. New York Times best-selling novel to round out the feature film slate.
Okay.
Okay. This caught my eye. Is they actually have a little production picture of a this is a 101 Dalmatians. It looks like.
Okay, so we are on the same site.
Okay. Yeah, then there's a bunch more movies that are listed. We don't have to go through all those. That's a lot of stuff.
Oh man. Well, I think you misunderstood me.
What?
Like this probably needs to be our last segment. We've been streaming for a while.
Yeah, I've got the time. We're not quite to an hour yet, but yeah, we can stop.
Um okay, so I just skimmed through the Pinocchio trailer. Let me find there's a competing Pinocchio movie and it might be already done.
I know
Uh
which one you're talking about. I've seen. Was it Bernito Bernardini or whatever his name is?
uh
Roberto.
I mean, this is gonna sound racist, but you could say those collections of words and you're already close to a lot of Italian names.
Fair,
So,
fair.
uh, um, no, okay, Pinocchio. There we go, Pinocchio 2020. Yeah, I don't even know who put this out. Um,
Oh my
oh, shut
god.
up, Disney.
There's a new.
Can you hear that?
No, I can't. Um,
Okay.
there's a new Sister Act movie coming out. It's gonna have Whoopi Goldberg in it, and it's gonna be produced by Tyler Perry.
I have enjoyed Tyler Perry movies in the
I have not.
past. Um, I can't remember which one it is. Um, it's the one with Larry the Cable Guy and Kathy Najimy, who's also in
I
Sister
have no
Act.
idea what you're talking about.
Um, um,
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
oh no.
Sorry, that
Um,
excited me.
I don't have faith in a Tyler Perry Sister Act. Just because he's so
Hmm.
schmaltzy. Um, and like Sister Act can be very irreverent. And like that's just not a part of it that I don't think it's going to translate. The thing is he might, I have faith in him as a writer unless he wants to write like a hard drama because he can't. He tried. He made like a detective story,
Yeah,
and it was the worst thing I'd
I
ever
heard about
seen.
that.
Um, I can't find the details for the yeah. Okay, Pinocchio 2019. Is this
There's a
right?
Lightyear movie coming out.
Okay, the Buzz Lightyear standalones are great,
Yeah,
but Buzz Lightyear is such a rich character to tap for stories.
yeah, I like that's yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, you were thinking of Federico Ilapi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What?
Federico Ilapi.
What? There's a new Blade movie coming out.
Oh, you know what? I'm not. Federico Ilapi is probably Pinocchio. It's
Benini.
Roberto. Huh?
Benini.
Uh, probably. Yeah, that G is probably silent. Benini.
Um, yeah. Blade.
There's what?
Blade.
Okay, I heard about Blade.
Yeah.
I heard about Blade.
Woo!
Blade, Blade sounded fine, but they were like the whole thing was like we're gonna make Blade Muslim. Um, and like that's a buzzword for lots of people for lots of bad
Mm.
reasons. My whole thought was, what the hell would Blade believe in?
Yeah,
Blade's
yeah,
a
he should.
Blade's a
Yeah, I
nihilist
wouldn't
killing
say that
machine.
he's probably not very religious, no matter what,
No.
no matter what the religion. Um,
Yeah, because the actor, he has a name that I haven't quite dedicated to memory yet. Um,
I think I remember.
he's
Yeah, I
Muslim.
think I remember hearing about that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm excited about that one in particular because then my Blade number one that's graded at a 9.8 will have a lot more value. Um, there's also an I Am Groot movie which I did not know was coming out. That is not a good idea.
No, it's not,
Armor
because
Wars, yeah.
what you're setting up is a Rocket Raccoon movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you're setting
Right.
up.
Um, yeah, and there's a bunch of stuff we've already heard about. Fantastic Four. I don't know if that's been officially announced or not, but I'm excited for them to take a good shot, a really good Disney MCU shot at the Fantastic Four franchise.
I look at Fantastic Four the same way I look at censoring the internet. Many have tried, all have
That's
failed.
true.
Every single
There's not a
time. No
single.
exceptions.
I've
There,
heard some people try to say that second one that Fox did, not the most recent one, the
Rise of
sequel.
the Silver
Yeah,
Surfer?
I've heard people try to tell me that movie's good. I've seen it.
Rise of
I don't like it.
I think it's got some great
Yeah.
ideas. As always with all those Fox movies, excuse me, with all those Fox movies, big problem with
Right.
execution. Um, like they they peaked early with their X
Yeah,
Men
they did.
movies. It was specifically with X Men
Everyone says
Two.
X
X
Men
Men
Two
Two
is good. I
was
don't like a single one of those X Men movies. I don't like
really.
them. I mean, I thought it was cool to see Wolverine and company on screen, like on a big screen. I thought that was cool, but I never liked any of those movies.
Why?
They
I'm
seem
curious.
cheesy as shit to me. Like especially like a lot of the destruction that happens in that, it just looks so movied. Like it looks like too much like there's I think Spider-Man the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies kind of have this problem too. That's too much of their stuff looks like set pieces. It doesn't look.
I mean, Spider Man wasn't trying to hide
No, they
that.
weren't. But I guess that's what that's all it comes down to is just it doesn't look like somebody was taking the X-Men franchise and taking it seriously when they made those movies.
Well, with X1, you come down. It comes down to
Right.
budget. There's a
There's a
lot
lot
of
of that
stuff that
too.
looks
Yeah.
X2. I'm trying to think of some big moments of destruction in that movie.
I don't.
Where
Nothing comes to mind because I think the one I'm thinking of the most is the first X-Men movie, but I just don't remember being very impressed by the second one either. I remember it being better. I'll admit that it's better than the first one.
mhm.
I'd have to rewatch them, and I can because I think those are on Disney Plus as well. So I probably will rewatch X2 and come back to you and tell you whether or not my opinion holds up. But that was a
You know, let's both
yeah.
watch it. We'll come back next week and see what
Sounds good.
happens.
Before we get out of here, I do want to at least mention the thing that I actually titled the episode after. Is
You can change that title.
I can, but for people watching it right now, I think there's at least one person watching. The Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun is one of my new favorite shows. I love this. I love so I named it. I named the what did I call it? I call it Gather Round with Your Morning Brown. Um, that's the title of this episode. And I just
That's the title. That could be the. You have to put like the title of another television show for the title of this episode, or people aren't going to know what to
that's
do.
true. That's true. Unless they've watched it and they're like, oh, I like the Morning Brown skit. That's one of my favorite skits.
Just throwing Auntie Donna's in
Okay.
there.
But anyway, I'm really enjoying the show. It's one of my new shows that I actually watch going to bed, which so far has only really been The Office and Arrested Development. Those are the main
Okay.
shows I watch now going to bed. But now the Office is leaving Netflix, then now I have a replacement. I can watch.
It's not going to leave Netflix. They've said this like five
It's already
times,
it's
and then
leaving. They've said it because
every
but
time,
the deadline has not changed.
right? But every time they say this, like people squeeze in one tremendous dump of binge watching, and then the downloads go way up, and then they don't
I'm telling you, it's leaving. It's
every
leaving.
time. Um, Here's the thing about Auntie Donna's. Um, I watched 2 episodes in a
Yeah,
row,
that's too
and then
much.
at yeah, it's the same problem with
Yeah.
Animaniacs. Like, there's no reason to binge it.
And I don't. I did the opposite of binging it. I would actually watch like 15 minutes of the show at a time.
Okay. Yeah, they work amazingly well as like social media
Yes.
posts. This is like, oh, funny skit on
Yes.
Facebook. I'll watch 3 of
I love it.
these,
I love it.
that kind of thing.
I find it hilarious.
But they are extremely
Yes, they are.
funny.
I love it. I absolutely love this show. So that's my recommendation for this week, I guess. Go do that.
Okay. My recommendation for this week is what I was talking a little bit about earlier, Nick Offerman show, called Devs.
I haven't heard of this.
So surprising little sleeper hit.
Where can it be found?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu has some good programming nowadays, and I don't subscribe to Hulu. I'm gonna
Mm.
have to pirate it. Oh well.
So this is a straight drama science fiction thriller starring Nick Offerman. And when I heard that that's what they were doing, I thought that it was impossible. Um, but okay, if you were gonna pick a series, because like he's a tech developer, and so the first thing I thought, he's gonna have his big gray beard, and they're gonna stuff his potbelly into a lab coat, and he's still gonna look way too funny
Right.
because he's the perfect comedian. He doesn't have to say a
No, he
word.
doesn't.
Um, so if you're gonna pick like a serious archetype for him to be, like to where you don't laugh every single time, what would you guess?
Mechanic.
That'd be good, but
Or
they
machinist.
went with eccentric billionaire.
Oh really?
Yeah, so like he's always in like hoodies and his hair's down to here. It works. I know it sounds silly, but it
I
works.
want to see this. There's actually also some really good shows on Apple TV that I have not seen. Well, they're reviewed well. I don't know if they're really that good. Um, but Hulu and Apple TV are like really pissing me off by having good quality programming.
Mm.
So because
So
yeah,
stop.
stop it, because I do not want to subscribe to another one. I do not want to subscribe. So yeah, I'm putting my foot down. But I'll find a way to watch those.
Oh, good. So you just admitted to
Mm-hmm.
pirating. And that's our show, everybody. I want to thank you for hanging out all the way to the very end. Please go ahead and leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you next week.
Oh, I
Buster,
have to stop the
what?
show. Oh God!
Buster, stop the
Stop the show,
show.
Buster!
Buster, stop the
Stop the
show.
show! Oh, I can't.